Jet Setters, and welcome to another episode of From Local to Global. You have made it to episode 2, Website and Roadmap Development. I am your host, Safira Sanders, CEO and Artistic Director of Edit Code. First, I just want to thank you so much for clicking on this video and supporting the content. As you guys already know, the From Local to Global series with me, Safira, is all about the journey of creating a product overseas and then releasing that product into several different markets. So with that said, we're going to jump right in. I have some really cool things to cover this episode, and I'm looking forward to expanding not only my skill set through you guys, but helping you guys understand the manufacturing sector and just getting a product to market. So before we kind of get into like the meat and potatoes of this episode, I want to give you guys an update about myself as well as Edit Code. So with me, I'm really taking the time to work on my personal brand development. What that means is that I just want to extend my personal brand. I love doing things like workshops and helping other small businesses. So I'm really trying to be more strategic in terms of where am I putting my time and how am I presenting myself both digitally and in real life. So that's a task that I'm pursuing, and it's been great thus far. Second, I'm getting ready and prepping for my trip to Los Angeles. As you guys know, I'm a fashion designer. Therefore, I do get several things made in Los Angeles, and I also go there just to sort of like pick out fabrics, connect with people. My network, a large part of my network is in Los Angeles. So it's always good to kind of just go back, pop my head in, see what the girls are doing, have a bit of fun, and also get some work done. And lastly, about myself, I'm just updating my social platforms. I really haven't been too active on like any type of social media, like Instagram or TikTok, basically the only ones that I use. So I'm really trying to, again, making sure that my personal brand is in line with like my personal goals, like my personal life, yet still being professional and having a great time. So working on that. So I'm just presenting myself in the best light and in the brand direction that I want to take myself. So even more so, I'm excited about what's new with Edit Code. So as you guys know, in May, I launched my proof of concept and it went so well. I found out that like my larger sizes actually sell a lot quicker. So that's something else that I'm developing, making sure that I'm expanding those sizes for all of my design. As well as like just taking all the data that I received and making sure that I'm implementing it and analyzing it in a way so I'm able to implement it when I do the official launch. Second, I had some great focus groups conversations. It did allow me to understand some of the other headaches that my consumers were facing and like some pain points and just like a better way to serve all demographics. So I was definitely excited about that and looking forward to taking that feedback and applying it to the real launch. And lastly, just Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So every year with all of my companies, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is like super crazy. You do all this planning and then you have to get all the orders out. So it was definitely the same way with Edit Code, a true experience. And I was just like really proud of like myself and my team because we were able to really pull something off that we just put like a lot of time in planning and it was executed well. So I'm very excited about that. So it's definitely been a learning curve just because Edit Code is not necessarily a new industry for me, but what I'm trying to do within the industry is definitely taking me on a bit of a ride, but a very joyful ride. And I'm so excited about what Edit Code and my personal brand is going to do in the near future. Okay, so let's go. You learned about me. You learned about Edit Code. Let's jump into what is From Local to Global. As you guys know, From Local to Global started out as a 10-part digital workshop. Now it's going to be 20. So you're going to get 10 episodes from me, Safira, cha-ching, discussing manufacturing and entering a new market. And then on the other side, you're going to get what we're calling our extended community. And we are going to have presenters from all different walks of life basically show you and explain to you how they launched their international products and their international business. So it's definitely going to be a fun ride. I'm really excited that we were able to extend this for you guys. I know the first episode came out a few months ago, so my sincere apologies for the delay, But when I kid you not, guys, like I really just wanted to make sure that every presenter mattered, that every presenter like really could present something cool to the series. And I really think we're going to be able to kick it off, and I'm so excited to bring you guys the full experience. So before we really jump into this episode, I have to thank my key sponsors. One being the Port of Tacoma. If you do any sort of shipping, if you receive any sort of inventory, they definitely have had a hand in it, and I want to thank them so much. Second is the William Factory Incubator. They are truly the reason for the season. They have helped me tremendously, and I want you guys to touch base with them, especially if you're having any doubts. If you don't have a direction that you want to go into, you might know an industry, but you might not have a roadmap and a business plan. All those things we're going to discuss. But if you sort of want a hands-on approach, William Factory Incubator is definitely the organization for you. And last but totally not least, Traction Space. As you guys know, I love Traction Space. They offer so many great options for individuals that currently have a business and maybe they want to expand and they want to bring in their team all in-house. They have the private offices for that. If you are a small team of maybe just 1 or 2 people and you don't mind working in a more private community, which I always encourage, they have options for that. If you are a content creator, I highly suggest you touch base with them. They have a great green room studio that I've used myself. They have a podcast studio, and it's like super professional, super top notch. Don't take it from me. Click the link in the bio and in the description and go ahead and book a tour. The staff is super friendly and they have like this really cute cafe right in the front. So I suggest you grab some coffee, take your tour, and then go ahead and sign up for a membership, because like literally it has elevated my entire brand 1,000%. Moving on, I have broke down this episode into 3 main parts. I did it this way, and I'm also doing it the voiceover way, is because I want it to be a little bit more interactive, and I want to give you guys visuals on how to move forward. Don't get me wrong, I love my pretty face and I show it all day, but for this particular series in the next few episodes, it's really going to be interactive because I'm a very visual learner and most creative people are also visual learners, and I just thought this would be the best way to get you guys to really wrap your head around the endeavors you're about to embark on, as well as sort of like immerse yourself into this episode and getting the job done. You guys know I'm all about getting the job done. I don't like to waste time. So with that said, let's break this series down. Part 1, I'm going to cover Shopify versus Squarespace. Part 2, I'm going to discuss establishing a presence. In part 3, I'm going to cover creating a company roadmap. These are all very important sections. And with that said, I want to go ahead and kind of jump into what we're going to discuss. Another small takeaway, you guys, is that I want you to remember that people want to make money with people that are making money. So even if right now you aren't making any money with your company or you're not profitable, if on the front end you look nice and polished and like you're ready to go, now keep in mind you are working on things in the back end, but if that front end looks nice, people will talk to you, people will negotiate with you, people will take your calls and be able to and want to schedule meetings with you because you look serious. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are asking, yourselves, Safira, why is this important right now? And the simple answer is negotiations. You are about to enter into a whole brand new world, and you want to be able to give yourself a representation of the actual brand. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just something letting people know that you're actually serious about this company, that you're not just someone else, just talking to be talking. You actually are ready to move forward. And so that's why it's so important. And this is why I really want you guys to make sure that you're taking notes and putting some of those things into action, because you're really going to benefit from doing the basics right now, especially when we start to have conversations with manufacturers. Yes, part 1, let's go. Shopify versus Squarespace. Yes, there are other hosting sites for your companies, but I don't really think they compare to Shopify. I did want to explain the difference between the two because I also don't want to discount Squarespace. So you guys, full disclosure, Shopify is what I use for my e-commerce business, all of them, but most importantly, what I use for Edit Code. Squarespace, on the other hand, is what I use for my personal brand, and they both have great assets, but one is great for e-commerce and one is great for more portfolio and digital products. And so what we're going to do is we're going to discuss Shopify first. Shopify has tons of great features, and it was definitely made for e-commerce. Out of their amazing features, I really just wanted to touch base on 5 because they are the ones that really mean the most to me and my company. One being Shopify Pay. It's just really easy for myself and for the consumer. It's safe on both ends. They offer amazing fraud protection as well as next day deposits, which I absolutely love. Even though right now you aren't making any orders, it's just a great feature to really know in and out because it's going to be the lifeline of your company, the blood if you're in your company. Because again, it's going to be the way that you receive money. Second are the gift cards. I just absolutely love this feature. Definitely around the holiday season, I was able to sell a great deal of gift cards, and it's just cool because a lot of times my gift cards were bought by people that previously purchased for me. And so they were like buying them for like a friend or a loved one. And I think I enjoy just more so the support than like the actual purchase. So that just feels really good to me. And of course it's, revenue you kind of already have in the pocket, which is great. Third are the shipping discounts. Now, whether you use United States Postal Service or UPS or even DHL, the other one, they offer discounts with all of those services. So if you just go out, buy your printer, you could do everything from the convenience of your office, ship your orders out, weigh them and all that good stuff with Shopify. And I believe right now the discount for United States Postal Service is like 75%. So as a small business, any way you can save money, I'm all for it. Fourth are the analytics and reports. You guys know that I am a data-driven girl. So if the numbers make sense, I'm gonna make it make sense, right? If the numbers tell me to move left, I'm gonna move left. And so with these reports being so in-depth, it allows me to not only plan for the future, but also allow me to analyze what campaign produced, how much revenue, make sure that my ROIs are in tight. Just make sure that the numbers match up with my ambition. I have very, very, very high dreams and I'm super ambitious about my company, but I also want to make sure that I'm being profitable, and their analytics and reports allows me to do so. The cool thing about Shopify is that you're able to receive these reports on all the different plans that they have. So if you're on the basic plan, of course, you receive a different set of reports. And if you're on the more advanced side, then you receive more advanced reports. But I was just so shocked that they offered them to begin with and that I didn't have to use 5 and 6 different platforms in order to get the real heartbeat of my company. 5, you guys know I love anything tech, and that's the seamless integrations. I have so many different integrations for Edit Code, which allows Edit Code to be Edit Code. And that's everything from how I design. You guys know I use a lot of 3D modeling, all the way to the consumer experiences. And very quickly, just to cover Squarespace, like I previously said, it's great for a portfolio. If you are here and you are saying, hey, Safira, I know I want to manufacture something later on down the line, but right now my core focus is maybe producing a digital product, then I highly recommend using Squarespace. I do not have too much experience selling digital products, but if you want to touch base with me directly, please feel free to do so, and I'll give you as much guidance as I can. And that goes for Shopify as well. If you guys have more questions about Shopify, please feel free to touch base with me directly. That link will be in the description. But I know that it can seem very, very overwhelming, and I kid you not, it's not that bad, you guys. It's just a lot of information to consume. So please feel free to ask me any questions, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to continue to move on with this episode. Part 2, establishing a presence, is basically just establishing trust. By presence, I mean is how do you present yourself to the rest of the business community? I have outlined 6 key assets that I think is just what you need in order to be successful in creating a presence without having a product yet, right? Underline that part, without having a product. And first things first is your domain name. That's pretty self-explanatory. We all use the internet. We all use Google. So we understand that we have to be found. Second is nothing but your landing page, basically like your coming soon page. And this is just going to make you look a lot more professional when you start to present yourself within the business community. You want people to start to take you serious. And if you at least have a basic landing page, that's just another asset that's going to be a part of your presence that's establishing trust with other individuals you want to work with. I also want you to keep in mind that your landing page can be created via your Shopify account. They have some great free templates that will allow you to do so. In their coming soon page, it also acts as a lead gathering machine. So it would allow people to, sign up for your newsletter. It would allow you to maybe offer a percentage off when you do launch. And I just think that's a cool. Moving on is your business email address. To me, it's a pet peeve, and I think it's so unprofessional when people want to do business with me or, set up a meeting and they do so from like a Gmail account. I just think that's super unprofessional. I just don't like it. And to me, it's a bit of a turnoff. Like when you're doing business, you want to do business as the actual company. So for myself, I have 3 different email accounts for Edicode. I have one that sort of takes care of the back end of things. I have one for customer service, and then I have another one that's just for myself. A lot of times I will receive emails that the rest of my team don't need to be a part of or they don't need to see. So it is important to have several different email accounts depending on the different departments of your company. But as of right now, just get one. You can get a generic one like contact@editcode.co. That's an example for me, or info@editcode.co. That's just a way to, again, make you a lot more professional. Fourth is setting up a business address. I think this is highly important. If you have any additional questions on how to do so, per usual, check out Squarespace. Again, they offer private offices, public space where you can work, as well as a virtual office. So if you're not really ready to make that move into an official out of the home workspace, you can use Squarespace as a virtual office and have that be your business address. And you can get mail there if you like. You can work there if you like. They have a variety of options. And I just think that financial institutions actually favor applicants that have an official business address. So number 5, I do not want you guys to laugh me out of the room, but I highly suggest getting business cards. I know you're probably thinking, Safira, that's so late. Nobody uses business cards anymore. But what I'm here to tell you guys is actually a lot of people still use business cards. Like, I'm surprised how many people will still ask me for a card. My ecosystem happens to be multi-generational. So you do have a lot of like the old school business people that are like, hey, can I get your card? And I've also had instances where I've been out and maybe I met someone, they didn't have Instagram, and I gave them my card. And then they've contacted me and just said, hey, Safira, you have such an amazing card. I wanted to touch base. I remember the conversation. It's almost like an in real life, leave behind. And sometimes those have the greatest impact instead of just using Instagram. So I highly suggest you guys get some business cards made. I have a great company that I use. I'm going to share with you guys towards the end of this video, but don't laugh me out the room. Seriously consider it. A business card can be super cute. And last, and really not too important right now, I would say go ahead and establish your social media accounts. Even if you aren't posting on a regular basis, it's just nice to always have those accounts already established. That way, when you do decide to start making content, it could be just a lot smoother approach. And if you happen to want to connect with a website or another company that might require those links, at least you already have them ready. Part 3, creating a company roadmap. So first, I just want to say thank you guys for sticking around towards the end of this video. We will be wrapping up shortly, but I do want to fit as much of like the basic and sort of like boring content into the earlier videos, because once we start to talk about business funding, actually manufacturing like that entire process, those are going to be a lot longer videos. But the problem is that if you don't have your basics covered, you are not really going to be able to produce product the way that you want to within your budget. What I'm telling you guys right now is the most efficient way that I know how to do it, as well as it allowed me to negotiate every single part of my business. And you guys, I am the queen negotiation. I never take anyone's first offer, and if someone tells me no, that means I'm just speaking to the wrong person. But since I have all of my stuff together, it allows me to be like a little more cocky and come in ready to negotiate whatever we're discussing on my terms and what's best for Edit Code. Creating a company roadmap. I think this step is actually extremely important even before you do your business plan and way before you start to produce products. So very quickly, a roadmap is just a step-by-step business guide. I do them for my projects, for campaigns, for collection, as well as like I have a yearly roadmap and also a 5-year roadmap. And it's going to basically be that driving force, that North Star that gets you to point A to point B. Now, if you're anything like me, you're super creative, you get ideas from all over the place. If you have this roadmap, it allows you to determine which ideas can be added to the plan and which need to be maybe implemented next year or 6 months down the line. So I know that this doesn't seem quite all together, and so I put together a sample roadmap up for you guys. So this is my roadmap method example. I wanted to show you guys firsthand how important this is and what it means to the success of your company. So I even create a little ledger here on the right. So just kind of showing you what each section means and how important it is. So we're going to go seriously line by line, and I'm going to explain to you the best way that I know how. Again, if you guys have any questions about a roadmap and building a roadmap, please feel free to touch base with me directly, and I'll be able to give you a more hands-on approach about how to create this extremely important document. I cannot stress that enough. First things first is you want to start out with your goals for the year, right? So some example goals for Edit Code is to successfully rebrand Edit Code, which is an actual goal that I'm working on. 2 is to make XYZ amount of money in profit, and then I broke that down to how many orders I would have to make each month in order to make that much money in profit. Second is I want to make XYZ amount of TikTok followers, and that's just part of the goals, right? So on my actual real roadmap, all those numbers are filled in. I've done the numbers for those equations, but I really didn't think it was appropriate to share here, but at least I want you guys to know some of my goals for Edit Code. If you have questions about setting business goals, maybe that's another video I can create at a different time, or again, please feel free to email me or contact me directly, and I'll be able to help you with your business goals. So this is my roadmap method example. I wanted to show you guys firsthand how important this is and what it means to the success of your company. So I even create a little ledger here on the right. So just kind of showing you what each section means and how important it is. So we're going to go seriously line by line, and I'm going to explain to you the best way that I know how. Again, if you guys have any questions about a roadmap and building a roadmap, please feel free to touch base with me directly, and I'll be able to give you a more hands-on approach about how to create this extremely important document. I cannot stress that enough. First things first is you want to start out with your goals for the year, right? So some example goals for Edit Code is to successfully rebrand Edit Code, which is an actual goal that I'm working on. 2 is to make XYZ amount of money in profit, and then I broke that down to how many orders I would have to make each month in order to make that much money in profit. Second is I want to make XYZ amount of TikTok followers, and that's just part of the goals, right? So on my actual real roadmap, all those numbers are filled in. I've done the numbers for those equations, but I really didn't think it was appropriate to share here, but at least I want you guys to know some of my goals for Edit Code. If you have questions about setting business goals, maybe that's another video I can create at a different time, or again, please feel free to email me or contact me directly, and I'll be able to help you with your business goals. Moving along. So if you guys can see, I've outlined my goals in black. And if you look on the right, it says step 1, create goals, right? And it's also in black. If you now see step 2 are the phases, right? And if you look down here in my example, the phases are also in blue, right? So I hope that helps. So it starts with the edit code roadmap. In phase 1, it would be the edit code rebranding, right? So all the tasks underneath that are the tasks that I have to complete in order to have an official and effective and execute the way that I have envisioned it rebranding, right? So number 1 would be outline my vision for edit code. Task number 2 would be create a mood board. Task number 3 would be create a budget. And task number 4 would be to contact agencies. Now, to me, the roadmap is the most important because it's going to make sure that every single day I know what I have to complete in order to get to the end goal. One of the questions I'm always asked is, Safira, like, how do I start? How do you structure your day? When I tell people the amount of things that I'm able to get done in a day's time, they are floored because they're like, how are you doing all of this? And I'm telling you, this is how I'm doing it. I don't ever wake up and say, hey, what do I have to do today? I know every single day what I have to do because of my roadmap, and I do not deviate from the plan. Of course, certain things are going to come up, like maybe I have a lot of meetings one particular day. You know, there's several things that can come up as an entrepreneur. But again, my roadmap is always going to be my North Star, right? So how I organize my full days, that's a whole nother conversation. But I want you guys to focus on the roadmap. And if you notice, I have everything in order. Like I have everything listed in order, right? So for example, I wouldn't contact an agency for my rebranding if I didn't have outlined my vision for edit code, right? When I start to speak to agencies, I have to tell them what is like my aesthetics, like what am I feeling? What is my vision? If I don't have that already established, then when I contact the agencies, it's not going to make sense, right? Just like number 2, I have to have my mood boards created before I contact my agencies. Why? Because they're going to say, hey, Safira, again, what is your aesthetic? What is your vision? Girl, where are you going? If I can't tell an agency where I'm going, then it would be pointless, right? So I've outlined everything so it makes sense, including the budget, right? I'm going to sound redundant, but I kid you guys not. I get asked this so many times that I just want to stress it. When you are doing your roadmap, put your task in order. Again, I would not contact an agency if I did not know how much money I wanted to spend. That just makes sense, right? So again, I want you guys to do a deep dive into the roadmap. This is going to be extremely important once it's time to produce products, right? Because again, let's say you decide to create a water bottle, right? If you just contact a manufacturer and say, hey, I want 5,000 water bottles, but you don't do a tech pack, you don't order samples, and you don't do all the necessary steps in order to get you to actually get the product produced and then shipped to you, you're going to have a huge headache, right? So creating a roadmap is actually one of those things that's going to allow you to sleep easy every single night. I kid you guys not, I sleep like a baby because I'm so organized, I'm so on top of my game that I hardly ever take steps backwards. Of course, things happen, like this is life. But with my roadmap, it allows me to foresee so many difficulties that may or may not arise. That way I know how to pivot, I know how to maneuver around issues that might come up, right? Because again, I'm an entrepreneur, I am funding my entire business, and I want to make sure that I am saving a coin. So I hope this helps. Again, if you guys have any questions directly about your roadmap, please contact me. On top of everything else that we're going to discuss, the roadmap is one of those things that I feel so passionate about. So I want to stress again, I know I sound like a broken record. Make sure to contact me directly. It's completely complimentary, super free, and I'll give you my time so that way you can get this right. Because again, my goal for the whole From Local to Global series is that a few of you actually produce a product, take it to market, and hit money. Like, that's what this is not all about, but for the most part, yeah. You have to make money in order to continue to stay creative and monetize your creativity. Right. If I say right one more time, but I do use it because I wanted to just stress the fact how important a roadmap is and how just much easier it's going to make your life. So moving on, we're going to hit our business class. In this section of the video, I have branded business class because it's going to showcase the services that you need in order to upgrade your business and to upgrade your experience as an entrepreneur. So please take note of all of these great opportunities and let's get into it. So the first upgrade in business class we have is Shopify. As I stated before, you guys, they're offering 14 days absolutely free. You don't need to set up with your credit card, as well as you get full access to the site during your trial. Like, you really get to go in and play with Shopify and see how it handles. So definitely check them out. Of course, you know they have their Shopify experts as well as their free templates. But get this out, you guys. Shopify also offers some capital opportunities. There are some restrictions and you do have to start to, generate some revenue on the site. But I just thought that was absolutely amazing that Shopify believes in small businesses so much that they're willing to help them with capital when they need it. So make sure to check out shopify.com and set up your free trial. Second, we have GoDaddy.com. This is the place where you're going to buy your domain name. I like them because they have amazing accessibility to your DNS settings. And that's basically just the settings that you need for all your connectivity of your domain name. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but seriously, once you go and start to play with Shopify, you'll get it. I personally do not recommend buying your domain name from Shopify just because I think, in my opinion, it should be different. Your hosting site and your domain company should be two separate entities. That's just my opinion. If you have had experience with buying buying your domain name from Shopify, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your experience. On top of all of their other great services, I'm all about fraud protection, and they definitely offer that when you go to buy your domain name. Again, do not laugh me out of the room. I want to suggest you guys get your business cards from Moodcom. They just offer the absolute best in quality for all of your business printing and design needs. Not only do I use them for my business cards, I also use them for my order inserts. So every time someone purchases something from Edit Code, they get a nice little note card from myself that's personalized, as well as they get some stickers, and I was able to obtain those from Mood.com. They offer a free sample pack, so you guys out there that's using other companies that don't offer the best quality, please go to Mood.com, order a free sample pack, and just see what they offer. I'm all about luxury, I'm all about leveling up, and to me, Mood.com just gives a sense of sexiness to your brand. They have some great designs too, as well as you can design your own and just use them to print. So that's Mood.com. Check them out. Don't laugh at me. Business cards are seriously going to make a comeback. Watch. So the last business upgrade I have for you is Traction Space. Again, I really just wanted to stress them because in this episode, we discuss establishing a presence. Traction Space is going to help you establish that presence. Click the link in the description and book a tour. It's just an amazing space, right? Traction Space. It's very welcoming, and it just makes you want to go super hard. I don't really know how else to explain it, but it just makes you want to absolutely just do your best. And I'm super into the vibes and the aesthetic and how something makes me feel, and I just know I produce stellar work when I'm at Traction Space. So again, book a tour. In the comments, let me know what you think about Traction Space. Let me know your experiences. I would love to hear from you guys and, keep the conversation rolling about other resources that I can present to you guys, so that way you're able to level up in the upcoming year. So a quick recap, Shopify and an official business address is an absolute must. Set yourself up for success today. Do not wait until it's time to produce product to now want to set everything up correctly. That doesn't make any sense. And lastly, I want you to know that I'm just so proud of you. no matter where you are in this process, like it's a huge step. Like even wanting to branch out and start your own business is huge. And I'm so proud that you made a decision to like do something about it, whether it's like watching this video or like engaging with other entrepreneurs. Like I'm so proud of you and I'm so excited, and you totally can do this. So you guys, that's episode 2 all wrapped up and ready to go. Again, I want to thank you guys for just sticking to the end of this video. I know that I released a lot of information on you guys, but it's much needed, and I really think it's going to help get you to actually producing a product. I want to additionally thank my sponsors. Again, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to my videos. I have some more content in the works from the From Local to Global series. And with that said, you guys, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching.